Hey guys, thanks for joining me. Today we're talking about making choices. So we make choices every single day. Have you ever had to find out who goes first for a game? We used to do this thing like with a bat where you'll grab in the middle and then do hand over hand over hand over hand. Whoever gets their hand on top is the one that gets the bat first. Or my kids, they have a coin toss and they will ask me heads or tails, and I'll flip it and say, "Oh, you win," or "Heads or tails," "Oh, you lose." I'll do that for like 200 times in a row, just to see, winning and losing as far as who goes first or second. And they have a lot of fun with it. But there's so many ways. Yesterday in Sunday school, we had a whole big jar of toothpicks, and only two of those toothpicks had some paint on the bottom of them. And so we drew, like drawing straws, but we drew toothpicks to find out who got to paint first. And it was pretty exciting. It was a fun game, but it took a long time. It was like 500 toothpicks or whatever this container. And so we drew toothpicks for a long time. When I asked the group, I'm like, "Hey guys, what's one of the ways that you are able to pick and choose, like you're playing a game, for who goes first? And like, how do you make these choices?" And one of the kids said, "All right, hey, I'll show you how." And he put his hands out, and he said, "All right, everybody put their hand in." And so everybody put their hand in, and he said, "All right, somebody put their hand in for me." So the person that put their hand in for them was the one that got to go, which is really cool because it was like who took the initiative, so they get to go first. I guess that would only work one time really well, but I was impressed. It was pretty clever. So these are just like small choices. This is little things that we do all the time. What about bigger stuff? What about where do I go to college? Or what kind of job should I do? Or what home should I buy? Or where should I live? These are really big questions. And they can drive you crazy sometimes if you worry about them and think about them and making those choices. Let's see what the Bible says about it.
I have chosen the way of truth. My judgments have I laid before me. I have chosen the way of truth. My judgments have I laid before me.
So our verse this week is from Psalms 119, verse 30. "I have chosen the way of truth. Thy judgments have I laid before me." And this is a really important way to look at any kind of choice that you have in life. Not just the small stuff, but especially the bigger stuff. To have chosen the way of truth beforehand, before you even get started into the decision-making process on your own, is a pretty cool thing. So when this verse says, "Thy judgments have I laid out before me," this is saying that, God, I want to think your thoughts and do your ways and not my own. And so there's a little bit of a dying to yourself that has to happen here in order for you to have this mentality of, God, you're Lord of my life. And so whatever decision you want me to go or whatever you want to take, I submit that to you. And so this is a really important way to frame it and to look at it and think about it, is that I've chosen the way of truth. So ahead of time, no questions asked, I have chosen truth. That's the way that I'm going to go. And then the second part of thy judgments have I laid before me. If you don't have anything to go off of, then how do you know what choice to make? So we have the Bible as our foundation for all the choices we make. Sometimes the Bible doesn't say exactly what we need to do, but it does give us these guidelines and guiding principles. And so if you base your decisions on that, it's going to be hard to go wrong. And I want to give you a little bit of encouragement that when you have these hard choices to make, don't fret and worry about the outcomes. Focus your attention on your decision making. What are you basing your decisions on? So something that I've done in my own life is I've made a lot of bad choices. Some of those choices were made because of bad motives, and bad things happen from them. Some things, it was bad motives and good things happen. But now, when I make a choice and I have a decision to make, especially if it's a life-changing one, then I don't worry myself too much about the outcomes and what things will be like after I make that choice. I focus on the reason why I make that choice. And so get on the front side of that decision-making process and focus on, why am I doing this? And if you pick a certain path, like, know within yourself and have that assuredness that you know why you're making the choices that you're making. And then leave the rest up to God. Thanks for joining me.